This is the Dyness Mini trolling motor with Bluetooth, and it will cost you $195 at the time of making this video. There's another version of this battery in a Group 31 case, which will be a little bit less at $167, but it's a bit bigger. I charged the battery to 14.4 volts and did a capacity test at 0.2C, and I got 1325 watt hours or 103.5 amp hours. The internal resistance of the battery is 3.17 milliohms, which is good. This is a Group 24 battery, and this is the weight and its dimensions. Let's compare the size of the Group 31, a Group 24 and an actual mini battery. These are usually cheaper, but there's a lot of wasted space inside of the case, but it's good for BMS cooling. And in this one, there's also some space inside of the case, but it's good for BMS cooling, and they're usually a bit more expensive than these ones. And then we have a true mini battery. Only get these batteries if space is a constraint, because the BMS is limited in its cooling capabilities because the case is so small. First impressions of the battery. They're using a base BMS, which is a good sign. They're using lock washers on these terminals, and they use glue as well. And this cable is 6 gauge, which can carry 150 amps, and here we have dual 8 gauge cables for 100 amps each, so a total of 200 amps. The temperature sensor is glued down on the cell itself, so that's good. The BMS uses screw terminals and some glue as well. Let's now do a high current discharge test to see how hot the battery gets. I will add some black tape here to increase accuracy. We have been running for 15 minutes at 100 amps. Let's remove this battery, which keeps the battery closed. And let's open up the battery. We can see the hottest temperature is on the BMS at 55 degrees Celsius. And there are no obvious hotspots. We are a day later and I did the temperature test on the battery and it all passed. Then I scanned the cells, but I wasn't able to verify the manufacturer. They're using the same cells on their battery I tested about 6 months ago. And I failed to identify the cells in that video. Don't mind the extra wires, because I'm doing an experiment with balancers to save this battery. So if you know who makes these cells, please let me know in the comments. I like the app the battery comes with. The Bluetooth range on this battery is the best I've seen across all the batteries. It refreshes every 10 seconds, but that's fine for me. Inside the app, you can see the individual cell voltages, but there's no indication whether the battery is balancing or not. And that got me curious, so I dug a little bit deeper. I did some testing, and it turns out this battery only balances when it's getting charged, and that's really bad. I left the battery overnight and came back to see the same voltages. If balancing were active, the high cell would have dropped. So let me show you when I attach the bench power supply. So now you're charging with a current of 3.2 amps and I've set the voltage to 14.2 volts. And now the battery is balancing. Let me show you by removing the balancing lead. Then the charging will stop, which is normal. Reset the BMS. And we are charging with 2.5 amps, and we can see the BMS is balancing the battery through this lead. We are seeing currents of 60 milliamps. But now let me decrease the voltages so to simulate the absorption voltage while the current will drop. So now we're at 14 volts and the current is under 1 amp and the balancing current stopped. Let me increase it again. So I'll increase the voltage, but the current will also increase at the same time. And we're back to balancing. Let me show you with another test. I have opened up the Bluetooth app, which you can see here, and you can see the cell voltages down below. I have set the bench power supply to 14.05 volts. I have added a current meter in series with cell 3 and the balancing lead. The battery is almost fully charged, so when I turn on the bench power supply with this lead, the current will start flowing into the battery and the balancing will be active. And as soon as we drop below 1 amp, the balancing will stop. So now we are charging with 1.6 amps and we are balancing. But soon the balancing will stop. So we're approaching 1 amp. And the balancing just stopped, as you can see on the Fluke multimeter. So now we are in absorption, but the battery is not balancing when the current drops below 1 amp. The point of absorption is to balance the battery, but the BMS does not allow it. The balance resistor on the PCB is 33 ohms, and at a balanced start voltage of 3.45 volts, that's a balancing current of 100 milliamps. That's great. But if it's not able to balance during absorption, it's useless. So why would they disable balancing when the battery isn't charging? It's a setting inside the BMS that can be enabled during programming. I really don't understand why manufacturers don't turn this on. Every time the battery reaches absorption or the current drops below 1 amp, the BMS should be balancing, but this one isn't, and I really don't get it. So for that reason alone, I cannot recommend this battery. It's an improvement on their previous version with a higher balancing current, but they need to enable the balancing when not charging. If you want to know what kind of batteries I recommend, I have listed them on my website, grouped by size and voltage. There are not many I recommend, but I hope to review more batteries in the future. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.